We want to step aside at this point and talk about something else, and that is the DACA program. The U.S. president plans to end it. That program, of course, has been protecting young immigrants from deportation in the U.S. 15 states and the District of Columbia now suing as a result. For more on that, let's go to Josh Blackman, constitutional law professor at the South Texas College of Law, joining us today from Houston. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
What's the argument being put forward by the states?
The states argue that even though President Obama issued this policy unilaterally, President Trump needs to go through the administrative process to withdraw it. The states also argue that because President Trump has made a number of statements about Mexicans and Latinos, he has an animus. And as a result, it's actually unconstitutional for him to withdraw this policy.
We know that the president has said some questionable things in the past. Can those words, because they were said publicly, be used against him?
Well, I think you have to break down when the words were said. A lot of these statements were made before the inauguration. And in my opinion, those statements are off limits. The statements made after the inauguration, while I would find them quite objectionable, had nothing to do with DACA. They were about MS-13. They were about NAFTA. They were about a judge who had ruled against him in a Trump University case. So I think it's very problematic for courts to start looking at these disconnected words even before the inauguration to stop his current actions.
So you don't think they are or could be used to show an attitude towards immigrants?
Well, what the statements basically show is that Trump made statements about immigrants, but it was not specifically about the policy at issue. And the courts would have to go expand the doctrine of the relevance of these statements. By contrast, your watchers may be familiar with the travel ban, where Trump made some statements about Muslims, but those were statements in the context of having a travel ban. Here, there's a disconnect. He was talking about fighting gang violence in MS-13 and pardoning Joe Arpaio, and using that to show that that is the real reason why he suspended the DACA program.
Let's talk about the economy, because I know that some of the states are saying, look, these folks work in our states. They contribute a lot of money to our economy and our economic growth. Is there an argument to be made there?
Well, that's a fine policy argument and one that I agree with, but it's not a legal argument. The fact is DACA was a discretionary policy, the government said, that could be withdrawn at any time, and that people who signed up for it were told that this could be suspended at any time. So that's a good argument for keeping the policy, or even better, passing a statute about it. But I don't think that carries much weight in the courts.
All right, Congress has 6 months to put together a plan. Do you see that as a possibility that they could craft something in that time to deal with the situation?
Well, that's 6 months unless a judge acts first, and I fully expect some judge somewhere to issue an injunction preventing Trump from withdrawing this order. So the delay may actually be much longer than that unless the Supreme Court intervenes.
All right, we've got to leave it there. Josh Blackman, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.